Welcome to Sports Buds TV. Join in as we explore the latest news and thrilling matchups. Whether you're a diehard or a casual, this is your destination. Let the games begin. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the latest episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow. See you on the next one. Alrighty, welcome back. This is Sports Buds TV. My name is Serge. Got my co-pilot Fred. What up, bud?
Yo, what up, Serge? What up? What up? What up, Big Serge?
What's up, Brody? So, man, it is September 13th, and there's a whole lot going on in sports. Let's go ahead and get into it, man.
There's a lot going on in sports right now, bro, especially football. Football.
Yeah, man. Again, September 13th, so that would mean we just wrapped up week one in the NFL. So we'll kick off right there, right? We'll kick off with week one. Let's go ahead and recap. Let's dive into it. And to start things off, we have the Lions and the Chiefs on Thursday night.
Yeah, great game, bro. Great game overall. You know, it's a great way to start the season. You know, with the Lions taking a 21-20 win over the reigning champions, reigning NFL champions, Kansas City Chiefs, without, a few of their star players, which, as you witnessed, Serge, were somewhat needed, especially on offense, with so many drop balls, so many crucial moments that were, lost because of a unfortunate situation like a drop pass.
Yeah, man. No, you said it. A lot of dropped passes. It felt like, you could feel that they were missing Travis Kelce on offense, and then to add to that, on defense, they're missing Chris Jones, right? So the D tackle, the tight end, the star tight end, his Mahomes' safety valve, right? When in case of emergency, break glass, right?
Yeah.
That's Travis Kelce basically for them, man. So for all
I mean,
that, go ahead.
Some of the big, just to recap, some of the big takeaways that I got from the Lions, man, because I know those are one of your picks, to win the NFC North.
I'm glad you said that.
So I think they're just pretty well balanced. They're very young. They did draft 4 really good rookies that we're getting down on Sunday, bro. I mean, these guys, Brian Branch, the rookie from Alabama, they picked him up in the 45th pick, and this guy, just when the Chiefs were, gaining momentum back in the game, boom, he comes through, and guess what? Recorded a fucking game-altering pick 6, baby, to the house.
Yeah, man. No, it was just a great performance. You said it. I picked the Lions. I'm high on the Lions this year. I picked them to win, and I figured if they're going to be who I think they're going to be this year, they had to win a game like that on Thursday night to start it off. And it was very entertaining. For all we're talking about the Lions, though, I mentioned that Travis Kelce, Jones, the drop passes. The Chiefs were right there.
Yeah.
So we can't, what I mean? We can't, I'm not going to throw them away by any means. They're going to still compete, but, it's week to week. So right now, everybody's like either really on one right now if your team won, or you're at the lowest if your team lost. You know how it is in the NFL, man. So, yeah, they're probably going to want to pile up on the Chiefs. But, yeah, there's rumors of their demise are greatly over exaggerated, I'd say that.
Yeah, very exaggerated, dude. I mean, I think one of the great things the Lions did is keeping Mahomes and the Chiefs offense on the sideline. You know what I mean? I mean, these guys. I mean, the running game for the Lions was just on point. The rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, man, this guy's a beast coming out of the backfield. It looked very explosive as a runner and as a receiver, dude. Not to mention David Montgomery, newcomer to the Lions, man. So it was pretty well balanced, man.
Yeah.
I really think that the Lions are gonna make some noise. I mean, next week they go up to Actually, they host the Seahawks in Detroit. So
Well, we're gonna discuss
we'll
these
see what they're
games
really
for week
about.
2 tomorrow. But no, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about my guys, and Jared Goff was one of my guys before. He's still one of my guys, bro. Once a Ram, always a Ram. But he hasn't thrown an interception in quite a few
Yeah.
attempts there. So hopefully, knock on wood, they get good vibes out there. I think they got a good thing going, and yeah, good things happen to good people. So all the best. But
All
let's
the
move
best.
on, man. I don't know if you really want to move on, but we're gonna have to, bro. The next game. Do you want to get into it? Do you want me to start it off? What do you think?
Now let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go. I'll bring it up.
Okay, cool.
We're hosting the 49ers this week,
And who's we?
and
Oh, right.
me
Wait,
and the
were you
boys,
hosting, or was it at was San? It was in San Fran, wasn't it?
nah, dude, that's what hurts the most. That we were at Acrisure Stadium, and we just came out really flat. You know what I mean? Really sluggish. Pickett
Yeah,
was really, really off. Right off the bat, dude.
yeah,
Mike Tomlin, got out coached by Shanahan. Matt Canada's offense was just not going anywhere, man. I think Matt Canada, the offensive
right.
coordinator for the Steelers, definitely needs to fucking go. And I mean,
Week 1.
yeah, I mean, to take some good things, our defense, like, and they were just on the field way too long. I mean,
Yeah,
we did suffer injury to Cameron Hayward. It affected us a bit. We were unable to stop the run, but
yeah, big
hey,
time.
it's week one. You learn,
Yeah, take it on the chin.
so you take it on the chin and you just move on. So
Yeah,
next
man.
week we got the Brownies, so we'll take it out on them.
There you go again. But we are going to get into week 2. Don't worry. Tomorrow there will be another show, and we're going to go ahead and get into all of that week 2 and all that good stuff. But right now, let's recap week 1. And man, the Niners were like on a mission there. Like they have some unfinished business. They feel like from last year. Me, I'm not a fan of theirs at all. I mentioned if it's not in San Fran because I have this theory, man, that the Niners, they say that if there's ever something that happens, and let's say human races wiped, that there's something that'll still be around, and they say it's like roaches, because they live in anywhere in any kind of what I mean. And I feel like that kind of applies to some Niner fans, bro. They kind of pop out of nowhere. They like are everywhere, basically. It felt like that in at your guys' home, your stadium. It was nothing but Niner fans. It felt like, bro. I know once the game got out of hand, they started leaving, and it looks like it. That just they popped out more. But there's
Yeah,
quite a few, man. I was like, damn, they're everywhere, dude. What the heck? You could call the
yeah.
best
I mean,
exterminators, man. They still pop out, bro.
yeah, I get it, man. I think the
Feel you.
Steelers can't really like rely much on
Hey, you
that.
guys have a
You
good
know.
fan base too. You guys travel well. But
Yeah.
talking about the Niners and their defense did pretty well. But you mentioned the running game, CMC, bro. Man, that guy. I don't think this guy's ever going to slow down. With every year that a running back's in the league, you expect to see maybe a drop off, maybe a step behind. I don't see that at all with this guy, man. It's like, dang. I know he's had years where he's injured, and that changes things. But if he's healthy, this CMC guy just bounces off tackles, runs off for like 20 yards. I don't know, man. It's crazy. And
No,
then
you're right.
what killed me was Ayuk, bro, because like you guys are kind of doing a good job. I'm telling you, your defense is kind of holding off the main guy, making sure Samuel doesn't go off, trying to contain freaking CMC McCaffrey from going off, and then Ayuk is just killing you. Boom, breaking out right here like a bandit, open. It was crazy. I'm telling you, man. I was hoping you guys would beat them so that my Rams in the standings. So I'm invested, and I'm just like, dang, man, Ayuk again. Ayuk get it. It just man, it was a tough one.
Yeah, dude, it was sure is pretty rough.
Yeah, Brody. But you know what? I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse. Who's next on the list? And this list I believe is the one you sent. I don't know if we're going to off the same one, but I've got Seahawks Rams next on the list.
Yeah, the Rams came through, man, pulled a 30-13 win. And the Seahawks had the lead at halftime. They just had an
Yeah,
epic collapse in the second half. You know, they were 2-9 on third down, and you're not gonna win games like that not converting on third down, man.
Right.
I mean, Geno Smith threw for less than 115 yards, dude. I mean, the Seahawks had 180 total yards on offense. That's like 3.5 yards per play. That's not going to win you games, especially against the Rams line, defensive line like that. But I think another huge take, man. Not only do you get your ass beat by your fucking rival, but your right tackle, your starting right tackle, and your starting left tackle possibly out for the year with injuries,
I hate
man.
that,
How
man. I
unfortunate
hate
is
that.
that, dude?
Yeah, man. We're actually gonna wrap up, and later on in the show, when we wrap up, we'll talk more about injuries. But man, injuries are a downer. I hate them. Definitely part of the sport, but you hate to see them. Especially you hate to see them week one. So hopefully everybody gets well soon, gets healthy soon. Godspeed. Because yeah, man, that's something I hate to see. But yeah, we talk about the Rams and how people didn't expect much from them this year. Preseason football just being the worst possible preseason that we put out. Um, but Matthew Stafford, bro, no Cooper Cup. We hopefully we get him back soon, but no problem. At least for week one, we had the rookie. Acuna stepped up. We had Tutu, with third year already. He stepped up. And they both, I believe, went up for over 100 yards each. Van Jefferson dropped a key pass there, but he made up for it. So just
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford overall looking healthy, playing well. Hopefully they could, sustain that. We'll see. But yeah, man, then Kerryon Williams, Cam Akers running the ball. The rookie that the guard that we got out of TCU, Avila, that guy, he's a beast, man. He can move some people, get your
yeah.
running backs
I saw that. I saw
upfield,
that.
you know. So yeah, man, that was a pleasant surprise. Hopefully they can keep the momentum going. I'm not gonna get too much into week two, but there's a big matchup: Rams, Niners for first place,
Yeah,
basically already, right in the division, man. They both won, so
yeah.
why
And
not?
then
Let's see. Something's got to give.
the
Your our
Seahawks.
good friend DC, part of the show. We already reached out, and something's got to give. There could only be one. Yeah,
This is true. Yeah,
man.
you know what? So, it's a great win for the Rams, especially it's a division rival. So,
I'll take
um,
it.
you'll take it. So, the Seahawks travel to Ford Field to take on the Lions next week, but we'll talk about that later. Now, the Packers and the Bears, right? The oldest rivalry in the game, right?
Ooh,
The
right, right.
young Packers take down the Bears 38-20. I mean, what's this, like the ninth consecutive win for the Packers? I mean, like Aaron Rodgers says, he owns them, and it seems like Jordan Love pretty much is going to continue that trend. I mean, he dropped 245 with a hat trick, three touchdowns on him. Not bad for his season debut, man.
Not at all.
Not to mention he didn't have his top receiver, Christian Watson, who was out with an injury. Another good point with the Packers, Aaron Jones. This guy's a beast.
Yeah, I was
Running,
just gonna say
receiving,
that.
he was killing them.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he did pull a hamstring, and right now it's day to day. See how that goes, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Another thing that I did catch from the game, it's the penalties for the Packers. Penalties kept killing them. I mean, they could have blown out the Bears. Granted, they did beat them by 18 points, but it could have been worse. Check this stat out. 9 penalties for 90 yards would really hurt you.
Whoa, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. You typically lose the game. Yeah,
I mean, they're the young Packers, man. They're
right,
the
right.
youngest team in the league. One if not the youngest. They only have 3 players above the age of 30. So
Growing
that
pains.
just goes to show that these guys are still inexperienced in a way, but hey, that's what they needed, man. That's what they
Yeah, man.
needed. A little bit of young blood.
No, yeah, man. And you know what? You brought up, everything the Packers did well, but there's another side to that, and it's, the Bears. We all expected a big year for the Bears. I mean, let's be honest. Justin Fields, everybody's hyped on
I do.
him.
Yeah.
We all do, and it's crazy because after week one, it's like I was telling you, either you're on a very big high, like yeah, we're going all the way, or it's like the sky is falling, and it's just let's hold
Yeah.
on, let's relax, like someone once said. But yeah, okay, let's focus on week one. And what do the Bears like to say? They like to say bear down, right? The Bears
Yeah.
went down, man. They were down hard. They were down hard. You mentioned Aaron Jones, and we got to say it, man. You know, we're coming out of El Paso right now, so El Paso's own Aaron Jones went off. You know, and he's a stud. He's been a stud. The defense really couldn't, do much with him on the Bears side. So yeah, they have their way. It made it, I'd say, a little easier for the quarterback to get adjusted. Feel more comfortable, get those passes, complete those. Okay, so those windows are a little better when there's a threat of a running back right there. It's like
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
that's what I took from it, man. Yeah, yeah, they let this guy run up and down that field, bro. So yeah, you can't do that. Also, it was a bit of ugly conditions, right? But it was in Chicago, so you
Yeah.
figure, But we'll see what happens, man. I know you've got a list here. What's up next for each of these teams? But yeah, I don't think we should, write them off yet. I think
Not yet.
right Fields they give them another week or two, but yeah, that wasn't the best showing, man. For everything we've expected for them this year, that we predicted.
Yeah, I agree, Serge. I mean, I have them as my team to come out of the
Yeah,
NFC North, so
making noise. Yep.
not a good showing for week one, but hey, you live and you learn.
Yep. And you know what? With these rivalries, man, we talked about Rams, Seahawks, Bears, Packers, and it kept going with the rivalries, with the divisional rivalries. I mean, we had Broncos, Raiders, man, and that was chippy, man. These two teams, they don't like each other, and it's the Wild Wild West, and there can only be one, like I was telling you earlier. So I don't know, man. What do you think out of the outcome?
Well, the Raiders did pull off a win,
Right.
17-16 over the Broncos, so it wasn't like a beat down per se. But on the field, it did look that way. I mean, it's the Broncos. They got a new coach. You know, who's
Right.
been in this rodeo before. Sean Payton, Super Bowl winner with the Saints. And hey,
Onside kick.
right off the bat, dude.
So I'm watching the game with my son, and my son's like, "Oh, who would have expected that?" I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
if you know Peyton, you kind of you kind of aren't surprised. You probably didn't expect it, but
yeah,
you're not surprised. You're like,
yeah. I mean, they didn't recover it, which would have made. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but
yeah, it's got to. Go ahead.
you know what? Russ Wilson had a great quarterback rating, but he wasn't too great per se, dude. I mean, this guy, looking at his stats, he went 27 for 34 for a buck 77. Pretty much what that tells me is that he was just checking down.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He was like a check down machine.
nickel
The
dime.
running game, the running game for the Broncos did look pretty solid. I think that offensive line, one of the best in the league right now. Gonna open up some holes, but I think the Broncos are still, they have a lot to prove. They have a pretty good receiving corp as well. The defense
Yeah,
is still a little bit unknown, but we'll see how they do this year, man.
yeah. Well, they got that cornerback on that defensive side for the Broncos, but I mean, the rate we talked about a safety valve in the first game with Kelsey. The Raiders have a safety valve of their own, in Adams and
Yeah.
Garoppolo being able to. The receiving core overall. I
Oh
know
yeah.
we kind of talked about the game, off of the show, and they've got Renfro, and then they've got Myers that Garoppolo knows from his time in New England. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think they have the better core of receivers, and I think that's what made the difference overall. And they can run the ball, and they're not trying to, do anything too fancy. But when you've got Adams, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it just opens up the game, like you said, man. I
Yep,
mean, you choose your poison. You wanna double
exactly.
Renfro. Guess what? Jacoby Myers ain't no scrub
Gotcha.
either. He'll drop over 100.
Yeah. And you know what? And the theme continues, man, because after that, the next on the list, we have a game, a big divisional game. But was it really a game? I don't know, man. I don't know. So I mean, we'll get into it. It was Cowboys Giants Sunday
Yeah.
night football. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night, bro. But one of the teams didn't show up. So nah, I
Hey,
shouldn't say that, man. It was brutal. It was brutal, man.
You know what? I want to say this. I mean, at least the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a touchdown. You know, the Giants were skunked. You know, they laid an egg. You know, it was just a beatdown on all aspects of the game, including special teams for the Cowboys, dude. The offensive line for the Cowboys was pushing the Giants around like it was like the movie, like the Little Giants. You know what I mean?
I was thinking
Uh,
about Kevin Hart. I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
they just weren't. You know what I mean? I
They
mean,
weren't ready.
just releasing Tony Pollard, on the defense, it just does so many great things, man. He's just a great weapon. They got this little guy Turpin, right? I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah,
what
yeah.
I like is that Mike McCarthy, ever since he took over the offense from Kellen Moore, I mean, he's been letting go of these fucking plays, dude. And Kevontae Turpin he's gonna be legit. You know, he's gonna be that X factor.
Yeah,
The defense looked fucking amazing, though. The Cowboys defense, I think for
they
sure, is
did.
going to be a top three defense this year, Serge. So I think the Cowboys are going to be something to make some noise in the East, NFC East.
So I heard it a few times during the weekend, but I think this one maybe sticks out the most. Is this a case of are the Cowboys that good or are the Giants that bad? I think the truth is in the middle. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
I can't tell you, man. I'm gonna give them if I'm grading, I'm gonna give the Giants. I'm gonna grade on a curve. I don't want to give them an incomplete, but I'll grade them on a curve. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah,
It just and then, bro, the game was postponed, wasn't it, for like
yeah.
a
For
little
now,
while, right? Yeah, and that was already annoying, dude. And then one of the teams doesn't show up, man. 2 strikes, bro. 3 strikes, you're out of there, man. You know,
yeah,
so yeah. It was a letdown overall, but hopefully they'll bounce back. I don't really have much because I mean, yeah, the Cowboys looked amazing. The Giants didn't look all that, but are they that good? Are they that bad? You know what I mean? I think it's somewhere in the
yeah,
middle. I think there's a lot there that we could take away from, other than one team
yeah.
didn't show up.
Yeah, and going back to the Steelers Niners game, I mean, I know the Niners are going to be
You
a
scored a
solid
touchdown.
team, but at least we scored a touchdown on them.
Yeah, exactly. You showed up, man. Did it take you maybe a while? I mean, that's neither here nor there. You showed up, So
Hey,
I don't know, man. I'm not.
we're never on schedule, but we're always on time.
There you go, man. And you know what? I don't want this to come off of like I'm hating on, because I actually like that team, and I think the division is better when they're competitive. It just
Yeah.
was a letdown, especially Sunday night football. you know,
You
but
know
oh
what?
well.
Especially when it had such a significance for our country. You know,
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that some other time. Let's jump over to the next
yeah.
game here on our listing, Surge, and it was an AFC East
Ooh,
versus AFC West. The Chargers
yep.
took an L 34-36 against the Dolphins, the electrifying Dolphins. Hey, that's a pretty high scoring game, bro. That's 70 points right there. You know what I mean?
That was crazy,
Uh,
man. It was a shootout. Yeah,
the shootout. I mean, I think the offense showed a lot of improvement for the Chargers, man.
yeah.
This ever since Coach Brandon Staley joined the team, which was what 2021.
It's been
He's
a
he's had
couple
over
years.
he's had over 35 plus points 7 times. That's pretty legit.
Yeah,
The only problem though is that the defense wasn't able to get off the field on third and longs. They just played too much. The Dolphins first of all didn't even get a sack. Even though they have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
yeah,
Dude, that just lets me know that defense is just not responding when you let Tyreek fucking get over 200 something plus yards on you. You know what I mean? So I think I think this year the Chargers will be good, but not good enough to win it. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll hang in
yeah,
there with games, but because of their offense. But
yeah.
I'm really hoping Eckler gets healthy because if it's not for that offense, man, the Chargers are going to be in trouble this year.
Recently, I heard someone say, "Good ain't good enough," and that's tough, man. Because you can be good, but sometimes good ain't good enough. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
and
That's a great point.
yeah, man, and I feel like the Chargers for a while have been a team that, hey, they're good. They should, and then for some reason or another they don't. But
Yeah.
I have the Dolphin side of this matchup. Waddle's awesome, bro. Waddle's awesome as an option to have. And then, of course, Tyreek, man, running up that hill. But
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill's insane, man. And we
yeah,
know
he
this.
is.
You know,
And you
we,
know this, and you know the ball's gonna go to him, and you know he's still gonna get you. You know.
yeah, bro. And the defender that's attempting to defend him knows this as well, dude. And he still finds a way to come through with it. But yeah, man, between, having Waddle and then having Tyreek Hill, when it comes, certain situations, the Dolphins, they have the best matchup, man. And it's tough to find it, a defense that's going to be, maybe we'll see this weekend. That'll make it hard for them. But yeah, I mean, and then the play calling, because you got to have an offensive, minded coach that's going to, let's go here. Let's go for it instead
Yeah,
of this, was it before the half where they could have just, taken a knee or something, but they actually were a bit aggressive. They got a PI, and
yeah,
then that led to a field goal because you're
yeah,
aggressive. You know what I mean? Instead of just, I'm going to knee, you know what I mean? Nah, the coach is like, run a play, and we'll throw that up there, see what happens, you
yeah.
know?
You know that saying, "Scared money don't make money." So
Exactly. Yeah, man. And it's the NFL. So, yeah, that was, and they came back, if I'm not mistaken. I may have that off because there was so much going on, but that was a great game. And you like look back and be like, oh, wow, whoa, Tyreek Hill and Waddle, and here come the Chargers. But yeah, man, good wasn't good enough.
here's a crazy stat. You know how many yards the Chargers had on offense rushing?
I don't.
234 rushing yards, man.
Ooh.
234.
So that
So
typically wins you a game.
that tells me they controlled most of the clock,
Yeah.
and that just tells me the Dolphins score fast.
Tyreek Hill scored. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was insane. Um,
You know, we had another great matchup, Rich.
yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We had another AFC North division rivalry going on between the Brownies and the Bengals. Um, Very surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, the Browns defense bottled up Joe Burrow for only 82 yards. I think that's his lowest ever, even in high school, I'm sure. Jamar Chase, did you hear about his diss that he
Was
called
it
the
about
Browns?
calling them elves?
Yeah, dude, this motherfucker called them elves. I mean,
Is it because of the mascot or whatever that they have?
yeah, they had the old mascot, but I thought it was really funny, dude. I just think the defense for
This is
the
some
for
elves.
the Browns came out, dude. Miles Garrett is a fucking beast. I don't know if you caught that play,
Oh
that
yeah,
highlight where he was doing like a basketball crossover and he just got by them.
yeah.
That's
On
not
the
bad.
offensive line,
Something
he was just like stunning on them, like boom, boom, cross them over.
he was stunning on him, dude. I mean, Deshaun Watson, he rushed for one, he threw for one. Nick Chubb, beast. This guy's a dog. I mean, this guy rushed for over 100 again. That's just like his normal. And
Yeah,
another note I saw here is that you're starting right tackle, man. One of the most important positions on the field. Jack Conklin could be done for the season with a left knee injury. Very unfortunate.
yeah, man. Yeah, especially your tackles, you need them. You said the right type the tackle. Is is Watson left-handed?
Yeah. No, I think he's a righty. I think he's
Yeah, I
right-handed.
don't. Yeah, I thought there for a second I might have had that mixed up. But either way, man, it's an injury. Like we said, we hate to see him. But yeah, the Bengals defense did a good job, man. They didn't do like
They
a
did.
horrible job, but the defense just didn't show up, man. Talking about a team didn't show up. Half the team showed up. The defense was doing their thing. I actually had them on fantasy football, and they were doing decent, but the offense couldn't do anything to keep them, like off the field. They had to keep coming off on the field, and the conditions were also pretty bad. It just for having
Yeah.
Chase, for having the offense that Burrow
T.
getting paid.
Higgins, Tyler
Exactly.
Boyd, Helen Hurst.
Yeah, man. That was a. I really thought the Bengals were going to win, and the Browns said no. This is it ain't going to go down that way. I don't know if the
Yeah.
Browns are that good, man, but it wasn't the big. Especially Joe Burrow just getting paid, like I was saying, man. He just I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, highest paid quarterback, right? And you never know, man. You never know how good the Browns are, but I just know that next week the Brownies are gonna head to Pittsburgh for Monday Night Football.
We'll see who wins that one, man. I wonder who you're picking.
Here's another game. I don't know if you caught this one, Serge. I didn't catch this one. I caught some really good highlights of it. But the Colts took an L, 21-31 to the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars were your
Wait,
pick,
did the
right?
Jags come back in this game like within like a minute or two?
Somewhat. I mean, it was pretty steady throughout, from what I saw. I just know that the rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, he actually threw an interception in the fourth quarter that did set the 26-yard touchdown for the Jags, which increased their lead up to 10 points. So you're
Yeah.
right. It was a fourth quarter. I mean, it's his NFL debut, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did
yeah.
drop like over 200 yards, one touchdown, 10 carries, 40 yards. For you fantasy players out there, man, he's a good pickup. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Here's what happened, man. The Colts were 2 out of 12 on third down, and 1 out of 5 on fourth down.
Dang. Yeah,
Not gonna
you
win
gotta
many
do
games
better.
like that. There was no running game for the Colts, man. Combined, they had 16 carries for only 25 rushing yards. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, next week, the Colts do head down to Houston to face the Texans, so it's battle of the rookie quarterbacks. But
Right.
they just didn't have any kind of like any kind of character, like you know what I mean, like what's your style, like I
Uh,
just didn't see it yet.
Honestly, I think they're missing their guy, dude. They don't have JT out there. You know what
Yeah,
I
he
mean?
would
It's
he
like
would have
they're
made a huge difference.
yeah, bro, that's their guy. Yeah, I did pick the Jags, dude, but I didn't think it was gonna be Ridley, and I should have probably thought Calvin Ridley was gonna go off, but I didn't think he would be like, he missed last year with what happened and all that. Um, yeah, I actually had Christian Kirk in my starting lineup, and I'm hoping like, oh, he's gonna get some time. Ridley took care of all that. Travis Etienne took care of all that. Um, Bigsby, I'm not sure if I'm getting that name right on the other running back they've got. Yeah,
Mhm.
man, there was definitely a lot of mouths to feed. And he's got, Lawrence has got a lot of weapons to work with, man. So, he's definitely a
Yeah,
talented QB. And, the Jags made the best of what they had. So, as far as the rookie from the Colts, yeah, he's a heck of a player, man. But I think they really do need JT, man. They got to get that. They need their leader, and I feel like that is their leader right now. So it's kind of tough,
yeah,
that situation there. We talked about QBs getting paid, and it's so hard when it comes to a running back. They don't want to pay them. It's like do the right thing.
yeah.
you know,
Do the right thing, or say pay the man.
do the right thing, man. But yeah. That was Jags Colts, and this next one, man, I didn't catch too much of it. We got the Titans and the Saints. They went out at it. I know, your boy Carr debut. He
Mhm.
definitely walked away with that win. Was really pumped up. The boy don't look bad in that, gold helmet. It's not that silver that he was used to wearing, but yeah, he looks happy to be, part of the team, man, and definitely produced.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's not no Drew Brees, but he's gonna carve his own chapter in the city of NOLA.
Did you say
So
Carr or Car? Not
Carr.
Car. His own. Yeah. That's what I heard.
You know what? I saw a lot of this game actually, man. It was very low pace. I think Tannehill had a really rough game.
Yeah.
3 interceptions. I mean, I think Derek King Henry uh, very limited. I mean, his usage was pretty much none. And I think that's a main reason to contribute to the Titans taking the L because
Yeah.
he had 15 carries for like 63 yards, 2 catches for 56 yards, man. You know, this I think what was it? I think the score was 16-15 Saints. I think the only points just came off field goals for the Titans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean Henry in the second half, he only had 5 carries, dude. You're not gonna win a lot of games like that, man. You know what I mean? So the Titans really need to turn it around. They have a really great offense, man. I just don't know if Malik Willis or Tannehill is the answer there, but they got to start changing that pretty soon. Throw up some points on the board because field goals ain't gonna cut it in the NFL, man.
Yeah, and you're only gonna have Henry, being Henry for so long, man. You gotta strike while it's hot, and
Yep,
just trying to figure out that position at QB. It's rough, man. You don't want to see those best years out of Henry go by.
exactly. He's one of the greats, man, and he's gonna be a future Hall of Famer, I'm sure. But he's won the rushing title twice, But you got to give this guy some carries. He's King Henry for a reason, man. Let him lose. Let the man lose.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
What
Speaking of
Who
cooking,
do we got next?
all right. So the
Oh yeah,
Philadelphia Eagles, they went to Foxborough. They beat the Patriots 25-22 to start the game. The great Tom Brady was honored pre-game and at halftime. What Kraft did is that he wanted to avoid out the waiting period and just go ahead and induct TB12 into their Hall of Fame, the Patriots Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. It's coming out in June of next year.
if anybody's earned it,
Uh,
it's him.
yeah, and well deserved, man. He's probably the greatest player of our era. You know,
All time.
uh, Money Mac was pretty good. 35 for 54, 316 yards, three touchdowns. Even though they came out pretty flat, but I think a lot of that was because right off the bat they threw a pick six. Next possession they lose a fumble. Philadelphia capitalized, got 16 points off that right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The Patriots defense did really well though. I mean they established that bend but don't break mentality. You know what I'm saying? They only held the Eagles to 9 points in the second half. So that's pretty good.
yeah.
Uh, I think what's the rookie's name? They drafted him out of Notre Dame, Christian something. He did pretty good holding down AJ Brown. I mean, he's not going to be your top shutdown corner, but he did pretty good. So the Patriots aren't the Patriots of old. They're still trying to build, who they are. But I mean, holding down the NFC defending champions, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. And Mac Jones had a good game, man. I think when it comes to that, they need a wide receiver, man. Juju's hurt, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think they need. I think Mac Jones needs another weapon on offense, man. I don't think on defense they were competing. They were in the game, man. It's not like they were getting blown out. But when you're scoring field goals and the other team, and the Eagles also have Elliott, dude, and that guy's got a leg, so he dropped the
Yeah.
field goals. But when the other team is getting field goals and touchdowns, and you're just getting field goals here and there and a touchdown here and there, it's not. You know what I mean? You need to
Yeah.
have those weapons. So, yeah, they're not great that Tom Brady was there. Great that he was celebrating his six rings, but you know at this point they want the new team to also do well. And who knows, man? Who knows how long that'll take? I know Belichick. He's one of the goats, right? We talked about Tom Brady being an all-time great. He's one of the all-time greats. So I'm sure they'll figure it out. But yeah, it looks obvious that they're missing like a legit threat, on
Yeah.
offense, other than Mac, because Mac's going to make plays.
Yeah.
If they're not running the ball well, it kind of makes it harder. So you need that threat that's going to impose their will and make plays when you need to. Your Randy Moss that they had before. Um, so that's what I took away from it. It was a close game. I just felt like they didn't have enough to get over that. Because we're talking
Yeah.
about the Eagles. They were just in the Super Bowl. Are they the same
Yeah.
team? No, but they're. I have the Eagles being right there with the Cowboys for the division, neck and neck all year long. So
Absolutely.
Patriots, they didn't have a bad showing, but yeah, it definitely looks like they need another piece, I'd say.
No, you're right. I agree, man. I agree, brother.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. And then you were high on this next game, right?
Somewhat. Um, I mean, on paper, Commanders versus Cardinals, but it was very
Right.
entertaining, man. I mean, I was really, really surprised with the Cardinals. They came out, gave everything they got with a backup quarterback. I mean, my ad, they just picked up this backup quarterback not that
Yeah, I was
long
gonna
ago.
say backup quarterback. He was like the
but
third string.
but you know what? I'm really concerned with the Commanders, man, on their offensive and their defensive line. I mean, their offensive line did allow 6 sacks to Sam Howell. That's a lot
Yeah,
of sacks, man. In the first, especially in week one. You're gonna get them
Yup.
hurt.
Yup.
Um, but the defensive line was very dominant, super dominant. Jonathan Allen, Darren Payne, Montez Sweat. They combined for 10 tackles, 6 for loss, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, one recovered. They were just all over the field on this guy, man. I think also once they get Chase back, right? Uh,
Right.
this is going to be one of the all. This could be one of the all-time great defensive lines. So playing under a coach like Rivera, um, that defense is going to win a lot of games. It's gonna give their offense a lot of opportunities. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, and there's a lot of hopes on that side. When it comes to the Cardinals, a lot of people feel like they're tanking, man. Let's be honest. Murray's not playing. They got rid of Colt McCoy, which was the backup QB, and then they picked up this guy, which would make him, in my opinion, the third string QB.
Yeah,
And they felt that that was what was best for them. What I love about the NFL though is they're pros. They're pros no matter what team they're on. There's professionals on every team, dude. And the Cardinals players came out and said, we're just as good as, the Commanders, and why not us? They didn't have enough to get the win, but, they put up a fight. So that's all you can ask them for. I really don't think that the organization is probably putting them in the best, spot to make them successful, but they've got other plans, I think. I think the
yeah,
organization really wants Caleb. Little sidebar. Caleb's dad came out recently and said, his son is cool with staying at school another year, that they're not too crazy about teams tanking, so just a little bit of chess, being played there. But yeah, man, we're not expecting a lot out of the Cardinals. And maybe that's why I wasn't so high on this game in particular, because we're not expecting a lot from them. But we should, consider that every single team in the NFL has professional players, man. And they're going to go out there and earn their living, right? And they're going to play the game that they love to play, and they're going to let the chips fall where they may. So close game, but I don't feel like the organization is putting them in the best position to be competitive, truly.
yeah. That's true.
So
That's
yeah, man,
true.
that was my takeaway from it. But there was other games, man. There was other exciting games. Getting back into the divisional matchups. We have the Panthers taking on the Falcons. My boy Robinson had a great. I wouldn't say the best debut, but he had a good debut. It was exciting out there for fantasy owners. I know I was happy to have him on my team, and they ended up getting the win. I have the Falcons making some noise, winning the division at least, and beating their divisional rival. That's the best step forward to get that that assignment completed.
Yeah, it's a young Falcons team, and it's also a very young Panthers team. I mean, the Falcons
Yeah,
did win 24-10. Heisman Trophy winner, number one selection. Bryce Young's debut was a little bit shaky. He did drop 146, one touchdown, but he also had 2 early interceptions, man. I
yeah,
think for the Panthers, their defense is led by All Pro Brian Burns, man. This guy's really dope, but he just wasn't able to stop Desmond Ritter, man, and the Falcons on the crucial third downs, which is what wins you games. It gives you more opportunities to stay in
yeah.
the
Got to
in
convert
the game. So
or stop.
you know what? The Panthers are young. I don't expect them to win many games, man. I'm
Right,
not
right.
saying they're tanking either, but Miles Sanders is going to help them give them a little bit of leadership in the backfield. Um, Brian Burns on the defense, but Brian Young needs to step up, man. Bryce Young, I'm sorry, Bryce Young needs to step up, and we'll see where that goes, man.
I know the Rams last year were in talks to get Burns, and in the end it didn't go through. But those talks, from what I understand, have never really
Yeah,
ended. They're maybe not as common, but that's a hell of a player, man. And I know he probably didn't have
yeah,
the
'cause
best outcome, but
he's in a contract dispute right now, man. So
mhm.
you know what? He said
Yeah,
he said he's going to play out the season, so that's good. Old
yeah, yeah,
school,
yeah.
but pay the man.
They're professionals, man, and they're gonna live up to their end of the bargain. That's why you got to respect the hustle. But yeah, that's what we had. The Falcons, great outing. But we'll keep it moving, man. We have the Vikings and the Bucks. The
Yeah,
Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, bro. He trucked over a defender. I don't remember the name right now in the game, but then he tells the defender, I don't know if you caught the highlight, get your weight up, little boy, or something like Mayfield. So he's a menace to society, bro.
Yeah, he's old school. He's a gunslinger,
We
man.
had him last year on the Rams, dude. And, I like his swag. I like that spirit that he plays with. And yeah, when I saw that clip this weekend where he's like, "Get your weight up, little boy," he runs over him, dude. Get your weight
Yeah.
up. I don't know, man. That's some playground stuff. You just, you probably had some boys that you played with that were like that. So it was fun, man. That was cool.
You know what? I saw that, man. I saw a lot of this game too, man. It was fun. There was a lot of plays. I
Mike
think the
Evans.
Vikings. I think the Vikings. Wound up losing this game 17-20 to the Bucks because Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk did have an awesome offensive game. He had 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also hurt his teams with 3 turnovers. And two of those turnovers was when the Vikings were in position to score points, man, which is what bit them in the ass in the end.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I mean, look, Justin Jefferson for sure is the best wide receiver in the league.
Right.
Just in the first half,
It's got to be.
7 for 130 yards, but in the second half, he only had 2 for 20. I mean, he ended up with 9 for 150 yards, but you know, wasn't enough. Rookie
Mm.
Jordan Addison, man, he's a beast. In his NFL debut, 4 for 61 for a touchdown. For your fantasy owners, that's another sleeper. Here's another great take that I took, man. That defense is way, way, way more improved than last year, and I think it's because new defensive coordinator Brian Flores, he's taking this defense, turning them around, making them fucking play, and they played really well. They just made like a few mistakes. They weren't able to get off the field on crucial downs, and they just weren't able to make that stop in the end, which is when they really needed it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I think the Vikings, they're gonna get, they're gonna rise from this. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think the Bucks were really that dominant, per se, but we'll see what happens, right? It's a short week. They're gonna play tomorrow, but we'll talk about that later.
It is a short week. Yeah, yeah. And we actually didn't mention that for the Eagles. But yeah, the Vikings, Eagles tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about that here pretty soon and, breaking that down tomorrow. But yeah, man.
What about
I'm
the
not expecting a
Ravens?
lot. That what? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were jumping on the next game. Sorry, Stretch. Go ahead, brother.
No,
Cut you
you're
off.
you're good. You're good. I really thought the Vikings would end up winning that game, but I didn't expect the Bucks to put up a fight. But I should have, man. Knowing Baker Mayfield. But yeah, you're right. Ravens, Texans, and the Ravens have their way. Lamar didn't have like the craziest game. He didn't have to, man. They were just dominating at the line, dude. And Texans were, more than happy to oblige and let him come on through. You know,
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. And you know what? I think the Lamar Jackson, like you said, he was solid. He did drop. So he was 17 for 22 for 169, 6 for 38 rushing yards, but he also had that one pick. That's kind of crucial. I think what really hurt the Ravens a bit was Dobbins. He suffered another Achilles injury, man.
yeah,
He's going to be expected to be out, long term.
he's out.
But the Ravens, they always have running backs, right? I mean, Gus Edwards and Justice Hill are going to assume the running back position. So for all you fantasy players, sleepers,
Yeah, man.
Odell Beckham, right? Odell Beckham's first year with the Ravens, man. He did have 59 offensive snaps, but very weak. He had 2 catches for 37 yards. Zay Flowers led the receivers with 9 for 78. I think that Baltimore defense, they always have a solid defense, man. But this time around, it's like that old school defense. They really swarmed. They hammered rookie quarterback CJ Stroud all game. The defense racked up about 5 sacks. 5 sacks in week one. That's a lot, man. And you got players like Roquan Smith, Jadavian Clowney, Patrick Queen. I mean, dude, they're
Yep,
solid.
yep. No, they're
Motherfuckers are
doing.
gonna give us hell in the AFC North for sure. They're gonna wreak some havoc.
Yeah, no, they're gonna bring it for sure. No, man, that they definitely took care of business, and you know what? We've made it here to the end, man. We've got one game left. This was a great game, but it started off, man. It kind of just everything positive for a minute, and we thought, dang, what? I mean, let's get into it. It was Bills Jets, right? It was
That's right.
pretty epic. Opening there, we had A Rod coming out, of course, carrying out the flag. It's a pretty big day, 9/11, and was it 4 snaps? Less than 2 minutes, I think, into the game. Roger, and this is we're getting to my son's practice. We've got the game playing, and it's starting off. I've got Aaron Rodgers in fantasy, so I'm just like, the guy that I'm playing is actually starting the Bills defense, and he had the tight end for the Bills. It's not coming to me right now. Knox. So he's got Knox in the Bills defense, and I've got A-Rod left. So right off the bat, I was up 2 points, but right off the bat, I'm down like 8 points because of the defense. His defense right away, they get their points. But anyhow, the game's starting, and we hear Leonard Floyd takes down Aaron Rodgers because we're in the car. And me and my son both like look at each other or kind of just Leonard Floyd, he was with the Rams, remember? Like he just left the Rams, dude. So we literally he was with the Bears before, but he won the Super Bowl with us last year. He played with us still. But we literally are like, oh, Leonard Floyd, former Ram. And then and Aaron Rodgers is not getting what? Wait, what? It was crazy, man. The Achilles, it didn't look good right off the bat. The fact that they put him in the tent, then brought the card out, and all this really before the game even, actually gets going. Then a game broke out, dude. A game broke out. Josh Allen's a very talented QB, dude. Very talented QB, but those Jets made him pay, dude, and picked him off. Was it 3 times? Bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. Hell of a game. Went into overtime. Of course, I believe he's a rookie. He was a big on Hard Knocks. He makes the play. The punter could have probably done a better job, but you don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
Man, what a way to end it. Jets fans, they needed that.
No, it was a really crazy game, man, and very unfortunate, right? We were expecting fireworks. We got fireworks, but not from the people we were expecting from. Josh Allen struggles again, man, turning over the ball. He had 3 interceptions, 2 wide head, 1 fumble. He was just seeing ghosts on the field, man. He looked scared. Granted, the Jets are pretty much a primary defense. They have a defensive-minded head coach. But, Josh Allen, 84 turnovers since his rookie year in 2018, which leads the NFL. That's a lot of turnovers, man.
Too many.
Now, the offense did stall. One thing that I did see here, man, is the Zach Wilson, right? Came out. He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he did what he had to, man. I think the Jets all around, Brees Hall, Delvin Cook, they were slowly carving up the defense, getting those first downs, and that's what kind of helped Zach Wilson relax a bit. You know what I mean? That offensive running game really, really helped out the Jets a lot. But, it comes down to the Buffalo, right? Buffalo, Josh Allen drives down the field, 16-13. He gets them in position to get the field goal. The Bills kicker Bass, he kicks it dramatically, hits the upright, bonks in, goes to overtime,
crazy.
And that's when Xavier Gibson, returns it. Now, some are saying that it has an asterisk on it, 1, because of the injury, 2, because there was a foul on one of the last blocks. I don't know if you noticed it. It should have been called a tripping foul, but hey, it is what it is. We're not the refs. We're not the officials. Touchdown, Jets win it. Jets, 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 Jets. Celebrate.
Crazy ending, man, especially after the start, man. And, it seemed like everybody was down, and then just like the excitement that you imagine is going on, right after. But, yeah, man, that's the NFL Week 1. And that's just Week 1. Everybody, Week 1. So what are we going to have in Week 2? I can't wait. And we're going to get into that tomorrow. We actually will preview tomorrow night's Thursday night game before we wrap up this show. But, yeah, we're also going to get into Week 2 tomorrow. So expect that on our Thursday show after the game. So we'll recap, Thursday night football. Before we do all that, we got to talk UFC 293, man. This was a bit of an upset, I'd say, man. I know that we on this show discussed and talked about, the matchup prior. We had Adesanya taking care of business, and he wasn't coming. The name wasn't coming to me. Don't tell me I lost it. Ducey, the guy that I told you they had that face off and he got injured. He wasn't able to fight him. It ended up being Strickland, to take the fight
Yeah,
on. And wow, he drops Izzy, man, early in the fight too. They end up
caught
putting the
him.
distance. Yeah, he caught him, dude. And that's not something I expected. We talked about if anything was going to be a takedown approach. But no, man, he put up his dukes and he caught him. And for most of that fight, dude, I know some people thought it was boring, but I thought it was more of a case where Izzy didn't want to come and engage anymore. He thought he'd, maybe fight on the back foot, throw a 1-2 combo, but I didn't see him throw much more after that. It'd be 1-2 and then out, and yeah, man, I didn't think he did enough to win a fight after that. So then
Yeah,
Strickland goes on a tirade afterwards, man, talking about, we won't even get into that, man, but it was crazy, dude. So UFC 293, Adesanya versus Strickland. What an upset. I'm not sure if you caught the
yeah.
fight, dude, but yeah, we did not expect that, man.
You know what? It's just the last stop, and it wasn't the same after that. I mean, he could have came back. He could have still, maybe put Strickland on the ground. Get that first round knockout back. It's like, all right, now we're even on points, whatever, man. But he just seemed a little off. I don't know if he was still dazed out from that first round.
I'm sure. Right.
But Strickland did what he had to do, man. He defended well with offense, and
Yeah.
I don't know what happens after this for Adesanya, man. I mean, he's still going to be one of the greatest, in UFC.
Right.
Strickland, well deserved win, man. And go talk your shit, man. Go talk your shit. Go defend your title with your fist. But hey, man, leave the women alone, man. Women are
Yeah,
lovely.
that was tough, man, to hear. I mean, I'm sure other people have their views, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with, whatever,
Yeah,
man. I don't want to get into it, bro. Yeah, I didn't expect Adesanya to go out like that. I really thought, he'd probably be a little more aggressive, and I didn't see that from him. Maybe he was still, maybe hurt. I feel like if you're hurt, then your corner should have probably done a better job of, getting you out of there versus you just trying to, stay back most of the fight, not engaged. If you're really truly hurt, get out of there. Is what I'm saying. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
I
either
know
way,
it's
man, that was UFC 293. We had to bring it up only because it's a bit of a unexpected outcome there.
it
But there
was for
is
me.
some
It
more.
was.
Yeah, I'd say for me as well, man. But more UFC, more MMA this weekend. It's a big card. It's actually a fight. What is it? It's a fight night. It's not a pay-per-view card, but we will see, Grasso versus Shevchenko here, the second and the rematch there. But we'll talk about that more. We got a show tomorrow. Just yeah, more MMA to come. Some boxing going on. So we'll dive into all that stuff. And before we get out of here, there's two things still left on our plate here, man. We kind of touched a little bit on it with that last game we recapped, but Aaron Rodgers, man, it's been confirmed at this time now. We didn't know it at the game when the game was going on. We suspected. People came out, started doing the early diagnosing, saying they knew what it was, but it's been confirmed. It's gonna be out. It's the Achilles. It's tough, man. He's almost 40 years old. It's tough for me to see him coming back out and making another run. I don't know if you caught the quote, but was it Gardner that he? No, was it Wilson that he told him, "Sorry,
Jared
kid."
Wilson. Yeah.
He's like, "Sorry, kid." Oh man, that's tough, dude. And then I think it was with Gardner that he said he did the celebration. Their celebration. I did the celebration in the air today or something like that, dude. Yeah, man, it was tough. They had a lot of hopes, man, and he had a lot of hopes. I'm not sure if he's able to come back. Do you think he's able to come back and still be
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, or I don't know, man. I hope he is, but it's tough, dude. I'd say it's tough.
I
I
think so,
remember a
man.
time when they said Achilles heel was it, dude. You were done. Now that's a long time from now, but I remember, dude, where that was like, nah, man, you'll never be. You know what I mean? And now I think medical, advancements have changed that a bit, but I remember a time, dude, where that was it. That's something to play with, So, what do you think about the injury, Aaron Rodgers? Can he come back? Can he still be Aaron Rodgers? What do you think?
But it's very unfortunate, It's very unfortunate not only for the Jets fans, but just for the NFL overall, for the fans. We all You know, whether you love it or hate it, man, you wanted to see Rodgers out there slinging on the AFC. You
Yes.
know, but injuries are part of this game sometimes, man. You know, and sometimes it hurts the best player in your team. Very unfortunate. He's an older player, right? Veteran, probably one of the oldest players, the oldest quarterbacks in this league still. But I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll bounce back from this, man, and he'll come back. You know, with the Jets. We'll finally get to see a little bit of that Aaron Rodgers with the green, helmet next season.
Knock on wood, man.
You
Yeah.
know, gives those rookies a little bit more time to get some experience. You know, gives Zach Wilson. I mean, now he has to step up. You know, I do want to say, a lot of people are saying because of MetLife's
Turf.
turf, and a lot of teams are advocating to have natural grass,
Like
prevents
soccer
injuries.
players.
I know a lot of soccer players do that exactly, it's just turf is very hard on your feet,
Yeah. It's hard to land
especially
on.
for especially for an older player,
Yeah.
especially for a quarterback in the quarterback's position. But best of best wishes, man, to this player, and I hope he has a fast and healthy recovery, bro. And it sucks, it's part of the game. It just sucks
It
that it
is,
happened
but
to
it still
him, but
sucks. Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah, man. I hope he's able to. I was he the 2005 draft class? I think he's 2005, dude. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he's '05. So he's got to
I
be the
think oh 05.
oldest.
I think oh
Yeah,
05 was Roethlisberger, Eli, and so I think he's oh 06
nah, Eli's '03, dude. Eli's '03.
or oh 04. It's one of those.
Eli and Roethlisberger and Rivers, right? I think they're '03, and I think Rogers is '05. But dude, that's crazy, man. I mean, almost 40 years old to come back, and this is football, dude. I mean, I hope he's able to, man. It's just that's crazy, and it's going to be quite a bit of a process, I'm sure, to get back to at least who he was. Yet, what was it? With like 24 hours? No, 48 hours ago. To get back to that.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude. That's tough. But yeah,
Hey,
all the
keep your
best
head up,
wishes.
Jets fans. Keep your head up, and you former Aaron Rodgers Green Bay fans, keep your head up. He'll be all right.
Yeah. I wish him the best, man. Hopefully, speedy recovery. That torn Achilles ain't nothing to play with. But we're not gonna wrap up with that. We've got a big game tomorrow night, Thursday night football. Of course, it's the Eagles versus the Vikings, and I need a prediction from you, bud. Who do you have winning tomorrow, Thursday night football?
Ooh, that's a good. It's gonna be a great game, man. I mean, the Eagles are finally gonna get their first home game against the Vikings on Thursday night. It's gonna be a great matchup for the NFC overall. But I have the Eagles by a close game again. I think the Vikings defense is gonna it's gonna open up a lot of holes, and I got the Eagles winning. I don't know. I say maybe by over 10 points. No, touchdown. Touchdown.
Man, you always go with those points, dude. You always go with those points, and I always feel like, I didn't have
We're
a
just
score
talking,
for
baby.
you.
We're just talking.
But I'll tell you this: I do have the Eagles winning, and if I have to give you a score, I'm gonna say 24-13. Eagles win.
I just say
Yeah,
Eagles by 7. That's how I
yeah,
say Eagles by
yeah. I mean,
7.
I can start giving you that, dude, because you'll be giving me some like scores, and I'm like, man, yeah. But I feel like the Eagles are gonna walk away with it. I feel like it might be close, maybe at halftime, close game, but the Eagles are just on this run where they start winning games, dude, and they pull them out, some way or another. So I don't see that being any different. If Kirk Cousins does any of what he did last week, dude, the Eagles are going to make him pay. So
Yeah,
short week, that's another factor. You know what I mean? You said it's going to be in Minnesota, right? The Vikings home
yeah.
game. So I don't know, man. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
No,
We'll see
actually,
who's right.
it's gonna be in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard you say no. Okay, nah, man. I got the Eagles even more so, bro. I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna
Yeah,
double down on that one, dude. Yeah, no, for sure. I got the Eagles winning, and tomorrow night, because we have that game, we want to actually right after the game, we're thinking about let's get into it. Let's make sure like we recap that game, and then we can actually preview the rest of week 2. So we'll give you the rest of the picks. You know, we'll be here, same bat time, same bat channel. You'll get your picks right after the game. We'll chop it up, right, Fred?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Y'all stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going live, recap the game, and give you a prediction for week 2. But stay tuned.
That's the word. That's the word. He said a word. So that's it for us. This has been Sports Buds TV. I'm your boy Serge. That's the man Fred. Y'all be good.